Hello, boys and girls online. Hello, boys and girls. My name is Hotzelcy, and welcome back to Space Age Factorio. And I thought what we could tackle are modules. But I think we are not quite there yet, especially when it comes to the necessary production pipeline-wise, because if we look here, green circuits should not be a problem. That's mostly when we need to produce, we produce, and we don't have that high of a demand. But if we are looking at the red circuits, we see we have a peak here, but mostly we are producing a way lower. And that's because we do not have the amount of plastics that we need. We can see this in the amount that we produce and the amount that we consume. But then again, probably we also want to look at copper. And for copper, we can see we stepped up twice since the last episode, and that's because in the meantime I added this field, but also this one down here. So we're producing way more copper now than before. If we look at iron, there we are not producing as much as we're consuming, so maybe we want to hook up this iron field as well to our production. So what does that mean for today? We want to hook up this iron field. We probably, or most likely, will have another setup for oil processing, because the problem is not here where we are producing the plastics, but problem is here where we just cannot produce enough petroleum for continuous production here. And I'm thinking maybe we rip everything out here, have a different layout, more refining capacity, and deal with that, because I try to play around a bit, and if we focus on a setup that uses modules of level 3, and we want to have an output of that would allow us to have a full red belt of plastics. And we should also consider we cannot convert everything into petroleum gas, because we still need a bit of light oil for the rocket fuel. We need a bit of heavy oil for lubricant. So we need a bit more than we have here. And I think this setup is targeted towards this red belt. But we can see we need quite a bit of more refineries that we have, and if we need more refineries, we probably also want to think about adding more oil to it, because what we have here is our initial oil, which is going down, then our auxiliary oil, which is also going down, and then we have this dedicated field down here, and this is basically everything that we have within our walled in area. But over here we have some more oil, and probably that's more than 2000%, because we're just seeing a part. But that means we have to clear out this part of the area, expand our wall, and so on. So today is focused on expanding our base resources so that we can then move on and actually add those factories for the modules without limiting our capabilities in any way. The setup that we have here currently has been expanded twice, so and of course it's not that balanced, because for the lubricant we only take it from the top, and also the light oil we only take from the top. Everything below we just convert to petroleum gas. So what I will do is I will take a copy of this. Right, that's one module, and if we look in here, we come up with 27. So maybe have a bit more. I will wing this a bit. Let's say maybe 30, and we will do 30 in I think 3 rows. And let's remove that part first, and then we can wait until we have processed all the oil that's still in tanks before we proceed with removing the rest. And we will do that until we have cleared out everything, and then we can think about adding this setup properly. The refineries are placed in 2 rows of 15, so in total we have 30 refineries. It's a bit more than the 27 that we have on here. I still think we will go with 3 refineries or 3 chemical plants for the heavy oil, because if we want to keep it neat, we should keep it divisible, or a common divisor to 30, and 3 of course fits into that. So we will need space of 3, and then we can have them here. That's that one, and we need this. We need power. And this, of course, then has to go on to here, where we have our production of lubricant. Or maybe, to be a bit more precise, we want to have a pump here where we say only pump if there is more than 20,000 in there, so that we can actually produce lubricants with any amount on top of that we might need. And here we will have a bit of water going, and then connect everything in between. Nice. And here, output pipe. This we will bring up that way. Nice. And then we will have the light oil to petroleum on here. Make it like this. Let's use those poles again. We have a pipe there. We take a copy of this, and then this, of course, needs to go there. Let's have this set up here, and then this can go to the output here. Don't need that one there. And we want to have a bit of logistics there. We want to enable this one if we have, well, actually this one we don't need to control. We want to control this one, light oil, when we have more than 20,000 in there. And here I think we will have 20. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Then we copy this. And get our 20 out of there. And then we just connect these parts. And we should be good to go. Maybe I'm missing a few pieces here and there. Definitely miss power. And as I said, this setup is intended for a beaconized setup. So let's add the beacon in here. We will add them in this row in the middle. This only reaches those. We'll have more there. And we need power. So let's add power poles on this side and this side. And then of course we would also need beacons here and there. Or if we do beacons there, in this row, we can cover both lanes. So let's do that and then see about where we get more oil as an input. I'm in the process of clearing out these nests here, and they are just a bit too close for me to survive, so that's why I think maybe it's time for this one. Let's queue that one, and then we should be able to take out large portion of these nests and then just deal with whatever is left with in the conventional way. Now that I have some nuclear rockets, let's see what we can do with it. Yes, that seems to have worked at least somewhat. Wish I had some more fish there. But that's something we can work on. And looking at what we have here, we have made a bit of a dent here in the middle with 3 bombs. I think this one is 2, then this one might be 2, this one might be 2. Unfortunately, these come at a steep price with 100 uranium 235. So that's not something that we can just push out however we want. But I think to get this area cleared and get it cleared fast, it's the best way. Quite some things have been achieved in the meanwhile. We have our new oil field hooked up, tanks are full, and down here we have a proper wall and even an additional iron ore field. Speaking of iron ore, last thing I want to do for today is hooking this one up, because if we look at production, copper wise, we see we have a solid production of copper, and the consumption fluctuates a bit. But overall, we're producing 13,000 per minute, we're consuming about the same amount. Probably we could add more copper to the mix. However, if we look at iron, there you see we are consuming way more than we can produce, and that's not good because eventually we will run out. So I think another iron patch will be good, and we also have one more copper patch left here. However, we need to think about a way how we can reroute the rail around this. Maybe add this piece in here and then basically go this way with it, so we can remove this junction. So I think, well, we still technically need this one for the defense up here, but if we look at our pollution cloud, it's not near any of the nests over there, and I think until we run out of light oil, we will have a different and better setup. So with that, I will leave you for today. That's the plan until we meet next time, and that should then be enough input material in order to tackle modules. I hope you enjoyed this episode and tune in when we finally get to the module side of things. Goodbye!